They built cities before Rome existed. They commanded armies that made Egypt tremble. They sailed seas that Europeans would not dare cross for another 1,000 years. And yet, history forgot them. These are 15 empires that once ruled the world, and were erased from the memory of civilization. Let us remember them. 15 Forgotten Empires. Part 1. Number 15. Kerma Kingdom. Northeast Africa, circa 2500 to 1500 BC. Before the pyramids were finished, this kingdom already ruled the Nile. 4,500 years ago, long before Egypt was a superpower, the Kerma kingdom rose on the Upper Nile. They built Africa's first great city, massive mud brick fortresses, towering monuments, and trade networks that stretched across the ancient world. Kerma warriors were so feared that they invaded Egypt itself, occupying parts of the Upper Kingdom. Their royal tombs held gold, ivory, ebony, and the bodies of hundreds of sacrificed followers, buried to serve their kings in death. Their end came when Egypt's new kingdom struck back. Pharaoh Thutmose I marched south and burned the capital to the ground around 1500 BC. Kerma was absorbed into Egypt. Its name was erased from history. Number 15. The Kerma Kingdom. The first great African civilization, and the first to be forgotten. Number 14. Elamite Empire. Modern day, Iran, c. 3200 to 539 BC. They survived for over 2,500 years. Longer than Rome ever dreamed. The Elamites of southwestern Iran built one of the ancient world's first true empires. They developed early writing, sophisticated law, and magnificent ziggurats, stepped pyramids that touched the sky. For millennia they stood as equals to Mesopotamia. At their height, Elamite kings sacked Babylon, captured the famous Code of Hammurabi, and brought it home as a trophy. They were not barbarians. They were rivals, powerful, cultured, and unbreakable. The end came in two stages. Assyrian king, Ashurbanipal destroyed their capital Susa in 647 BC with savage brutality. Then Cyrus the Great absorbed what remained into the Persian Empire in 539 BC. 27 centuries of civilization, erased. Number 14. The Elamite Empire. Older than Rome. Older than Greece. Forgotten by both. Number 13, Nabatean Kingdom. Arabia. Jordan, c. 4th century BC, 106 AD. They carved an entire city out of solid rock, and became the richest traders in the ancient world. From the desert canyons of what is now Jordan, the Nabateans built an empire of commerce. They controlled the incense trade, frankincense trade and myrrh trade, flowing from Arabia to Rome. Every caravan. Every ship. Every transaction. They taxed it all. Their capital, Petra, was a city of impossible beauty, temples and tombs carved directly into rose-red sandstone cliffs. It held 30,000 people in the heart of the desert. Rome tried to conquer them twice, and failed both times. In the end, Rome did not destroy them. They simply absorbed them. In 106 AD, Emperor Trajan annexed the kingdom peacefully, rerouted the trade roads, and slowly starved Petra of its wealth. By the 7th century, the city was empty. The desert took it back. Number 13. The Nabatean Kingdom. Not destroyed by war, erased by commerce. Number 12. Kushan Empire. Central Asia, North India, c. 60 to 375 AD. They connected Rome to China, and nobody remembers their name. Straddling the Silk Road at its greatest peak, the Kushan Empire was the world's most important trading nation. Goods from 4 civilizations, Chinese silk, Roman glass, Indian spices, Persian gold, all flowed through Kushan hands. Under Emperor Kanishk, the Kushans became patrons of Buddhism and spread its teachings across Asia. Their coins showed Buddha, Shiva, and Zoroastrian gods side by side, a civilization so confident it worshipped all of them. Squeezed from both sides, the empire could not survive. The Sasanian Persians pressed from the west. The Gupta Empire closed in from the east. By 375 AD the Kushans had fragmented. The Silk Road they had guarded for 3 centuries fell into other hands. Number 12. The Kushan Empire. The connectors of the ancient world. Forgotten by everyone they connected. Number 11. Dilmun Civilization Bahrain, Eastern Arabia, c. 3000 to 800 BC. The ancient Sumerians called this place paradise. They were not wrong. For 1,000 years before oil made the Gulf famous, the island civilization of Dilmun made it rich. Positioned perfectly between Mesopotamia and the Indus Valley, Dilmun's traders handled copper, pearls, carnelian, and timber. They were the middlemen of the ancient world. Sumerian texts describe Dilmun as a sacred land of clean water and immortality, a paradise where the sun rises first. Their burial mounds, over 100,000 of them, still dot the Bahraini landscape today. No dramatic conquest ended Dilmun. As trade patterns shifted and Assyrian power reorganized regional commerce, Dilmun slowly lost its relevance. By 800 BC, it had been absorbed into the Assyrian sphere, its identity dissolved, its name surviving only in ancient myth. Number 11. The Dilmun Civilization. A paradise that became a footnote. Number 10. Ghana Empire West Africa, c. 300 to 1200 AD. While Europe stumbled through the Dark Ages, Ghana was drowning in gold. Long before the Mali Empire made headlines, the Ghana Empire was the undisputed gold capital of the medieval world. Arab travelers called its king the Lord of Gold. His palace gates were lined with gold. His dogs wore golden leashes. Controlling the trans-Saharan trade between gold-rich forests to the south and salt-hungry markets to the north, Ghana grew fabulously wealthy. Its army counted 200,000 soldiers. No one in the region could challenge it. 3 blows destroyed what no single enemy could. The Almoravid Berber invasion of 1076 disrupted the trade routes. A prolonged drought weakened agriculture. And the rising Sasso kingdom delivered the final defeat around 1200 AD. The Lord of Gold was gone. Number 10. The Ghana Empire. The original Gold Empire. Forgotten in favor of the dynasty it inspired. Number 9. Srivijaya Empire Sumatra Southeast Asia. c. 650 to 1377 AD. For 700 years, every ship in Asia paid them tribute to pass. From the island of Sumatra, the Srivijaya Empire seized control of the Strait of Malacca, the narrowest and most critical shipping lane in all of Asia. Every vessel carrying silk, spice, or porcelain had 2 choices: pay tribute, or be destroyed. At its height, Srivijaya was the greatest Buddhist center in Southeast Asia. Scholars from as far as China made pilgrimages to study in their monasteries. Their wealth was immeasurable. Their naval power was absolute. The Chola dynasty of South India shattered that power in 1025 AD, launching devastating naval raids that broke Srivijaya's monopoly. They never fully recovered. By 1377, the rising Majapahit Empire had absorbed them entirely. 7 centuries of maritime dominance ended. Number 9. The Srivijaya Empire. Lords of the Sea. Swallowed by the sea. Number 8. Tibetan Empire Central Asia Himalayas. 618 to 842 AD. They made the Tang dynasty of China, one of history's greatest empires, pay them tribute. High on the roof of the world, Emperor Songtsen Gampo unified the Tibetan plateau and forged it into a military machine that shocked the entire region. He introduced Buddhism, a written script, and a centralized government. Then he went to war, and won. The Tibetan Empire stretched from Bengal to Central Asia. They occupied the Silk Road city of Dunhuang. They defeated Chinese, Arab, and Indian armies in rapid succession. At their peak they marched on the Tang capital itself, and extracted a humiliating peace treaty. Their collapse was internal. Emperor Langdharma launched a brutal persecution of Buddhism, and was assassinated in 842 AD. The noble families erupted into civil war. Within a generation, the empire that had terrified Asia had shattered into feuding kingdoms and was never reunited. Number 8. The Tibetan Empire. Destroyed not by its enemies, but by its own king. Number 7. Toltec Empire. Mesoamerica, Mexico. c. 900 to 1150 AD. The Aztecs worshipped them as gods. They were very, very real. From the city of Tula in central Mexico, the Toltecs built a warrior civilization so legendary that centuries later, Aztec nobles fabricated Toltec ancestry to legitimize their rule. They introduced warrior cult orders, human sacrifice iconography, and the myth of the feathered serpent, Quetzalcoatl, into Mesoamerican culture forever. At its height, Tula was a city of warriors and gods, pyramid temples topped with stone warrior columns, skull racks, and obsidian mirrors. Their military was feared across Mesoamerica. Their culture was inescapable. Around 1150 AD, the end came from drought, internal warfare, and invasion by northern Shishimec peoples. Tula was burned. Abandoned. The jungle crept in. But their gods, their rituals, and their legends lived on, adopted by every civilization that came after them. Number 7. The Toltec Empire. Their buildings fell. But their gods did not. Number 6. Kingdom of Congo, Central Africa. Circa 1390 to 1914 AD. This was not a tribal village. This was a nation-state, and Europe knew it. The Kingdom of Congo developed a sophisticated provincial government, a shell-based currency system, and a legal code, centuries before European colonizers arrived. At its peak, it held over 3 million people across what is now Angola, the Democratic Republic of Congo, and the Republic of Congo. Congolese kings exchanged formal diplomatic letters with the Pope and the King of Portugal, as equals. They adopted Christianity on their own terms, blending it with traditional beliefs. Their king, Afonso I, wrote to Lisbon condemning the slave trade in 1496, one of the earliest documented anti-slavery protests in history. The Atlantic slave trade hollowed Congo from within, depopulating its villages and fueling endless internal wars. Portuguese military intervention and repeated colonial interference shattered what survived. The final erasure came in 1914, as European colonial borders carved through the kingdom's remains, and erased its name from the map forever. Number 6. The Kingdom of Congo. A civilization that wrote to kings, and was answered with chains. Number 5. Aksumite Empire, Horn of Africa, Ethiopia. c. 100 to 960 AD. Rome knew them. Persia feared them. China traded with them. And history forgot them. The Aksumite Empire was one of only 4 kingdoms the ancient world recognized as a great power, alongside Rome, Persia, and China. From the highlands of Ethiopia they commanded the Red Sea trade routes, controlling the flow of goods between the Mediterranean and India. In 330 AD, King Ezana made Aksum one of the first nations in the world to officially adopt Christianity, decades before Rome. Their gold coins circulated from Egypt to India. Their obelisks, carved from single stones weighing hundreds of tons, still stand today. Islamic expansion in the 7th century redirected Red Sea trade away from Aksumite ports. Revenue collapsed. Then around 960 AD, the mysterious Queen Yodit, a figure of legend, invaded, burned the capital, and ended the dynasty. The kingdom that had traded with the ancient world retreated into the Ethiopian highlands, and disappeared from global memory. Number 5. The Aksumite Empire. A great power. A forgotten name. Number 4. Khmer Empire, Southeast Asia, Cambodia. 802 to 1431 AD. They built the largest religious monument in human history. Then vanished into the jungle. In 802 AD, King Jayavarman II declared himself a god-king and launched the Khmer Empire from the jungles of Cambodia. His successors built Angkor, not just one temple, but an entire city of millions, fed by the most sophisticated water management system the ancient world had ever seen. At its height, Angkor was the largest pre-industrial city on Earth. Its hydraulic network of canals, moats, and reservoirs covered over 1,000 square kilometers. Angkor Wat alone took 30 years and 300,000 workers to build. It remains the largest religious structure ever constructed. A perfect storm ended it. Ayutthaya Kingdom attacks drained military strength. A prolonged 14th-century drought cracked the water system that fed 1 million people. The elite abandoned Angkor. The jungle moved in. Within decades, one of the greatest cities ever built was swallowed by roots and silence. Number 4. The Khmer Empire. The jungle gave them everything. And then took it back. Number 3. Mali Empire, West Africa, circa 1235 to 1600 AD. Its emperor gave away so much gold on one journey that he crashed the economy of Egypt for a decade. After the Gunna Empire fell, Mali rose to replace it, and then exceed it. Sundiata Keita unified the Mande peoples in 1235 AD and built an empire that would eventually produce more than half the world's gold supply. Mansa Musa's pilgrimage to Mecca in 1324 is the stuff of legend. 60,000 men. 12 tons of gold. He gave so much away in Cairo that gold prices collapsed across North Africa, and did not recover for 10 years. Timbuktu was not a remote outpost. It was a city of scholars, rivaling Paris as a center of Islamic learning. After Musa's death, succession wars fractured the empire. The Songhai absorbed its eastern territories. Moroccan invasion in 1591 destabilized the entire region. The Empire of Gold slowly dissolved, and the world forgot that Timbuktu had ever been anything more than a word for the middle of nowhere. Number 3. The Mali Empire. The richest civilization in human history. Only to be remembered as a punchline. Number 2. Parthian Empire, Middle East, Persia. 247 BC, 224 AD. Rome conquered everything it touched. Except one empire. For 500 years. In 247 BC, a nomadic Iranian people called the Parnai overthrew the Seleucid governors of Parthia and began building an empire that would become Rome's greatest nightmare. Within a century they controlled the entire Iranian plateau, and a Silk Road trade that made empires rich. In 53 BC at the Battle of Carrhae, Parthian horse archers annihilated 7 Roman legions and killed the general Marcus Crassus, one of Rome's wealthiest and most powerful men. His severed head was sent to the Parthian king as a trophy. Rome never forgot. And never quite recovered its eastern ambition. The Parthians were not defeated by Rome. They were destroyed by their own vassal. In 224 AD, a Persian king named Ardashir rose in rebellion, defeated the last Parthian emperor in battle, and founded the Sasanian Empire. For centuries of resistance to Rome, ended from within. Number 2. The Parthian Empire. They stopped Rome. But they could not stop themselves. Number 1. Majapahit Empire, Maritime, Southeast Asia. 1293 to 1527 AD. The greatest maritime empire you have never heard of. In 1293 AD, a Javanese prince founded the Majapahit Empire on the island of Java, and within a generation, his successors would build the greatest maritime power Southeast Asia had ever seen. Their prime minister, Gajah Mada, swore a sacred oath: he would not eat spiced food until he had unified the entire archipelago under Majapahit rule. At its height, Majapahit controlled a trade network spanning the territory of over 25 modern nations, from Sumatra to New Guinea. Hundreds of wooden warships enforced their dominance across the tropical seas. Their island ports overflowed with cloves, nutmeg, silk, and gold. Gajah Mada came terrifyingly close to fulfilling his oath. After Gajah Mada's death in 1364, and the king's in 1389, succession wars tore the empire apart. Islam spread rapidly through Malacca's merchant networks, eroding Majapahit's Hindu-Buddhist authority across the archipelago. By 1527, the last Majapahit king had retreated to Bali. The empire of the seas was gone. Its story, largely untold. Number 1. The Majapahit Empire. Masters of an ocean world. Forgotten by the world they once commanded. In conclusion. 15 empires. Thousands of years of human ambition, genius, and war. Cities that touched the clouds. Armies that shook the earth. Trade routes that stitched the ancient world together. And yet, in the classrooms of the world, their names are rarely spoken. History did not forget them, because they were small. History forgot them because the victors wrote the books. But the ruins remain. The stones remember. And now, so do you. Please subscribe, like and share for more topics like this.